Now at 11, the ongoing search for a missing 2-year-old near the Oregon coast. Plus, the Trump administration stepping back from Ukraine-Russia negotiations as demonstrators in the U.S. stay firm in their support.
No matter what administration is saying, we stand for Ukraine till the end.
And details on a scam investigation that cost an elderly woman $500,000.
When you're in your 70s, you don't have time to recover from that.
Thanks so much for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. Members of a small Oregon community are frantically searching for a 2-year-old boy who went missing from his family's front lawn on Saturday afternoon. Hundreds of rescuers still holding out hope that Dane Paulson will be found alive. Rain and cool temperatures didn't slow down the crowds of community members combing the roads and wilderness in the town of Siletz in Lincoln County. They are hoping to find any clue that may lead them to 2-year-old Dane Paulson, who disappeared while playing outside his home near the Siletz River late Saturday afternoon.
At the time of Dane's disappearance, he was playing in the front yard of the residence, out of sight of his parents. Dane is friendly and fearless, and was comfortable around strangers and water, but cannot swim.
Hundreds of people have taken part in the search efforts thus far, including 88 certified search and rescue members, 40 investigators with multiple agencies, and nearly 150 community volunteers.
382 acres have been searched thus far, as well as 283 miles covered.
Watercraft and divers have searched the nearby river, and heat-seeking drones have monitored from the skies. The FBI has joined the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office and multiple other agencies on the ground. Right now, investigators don't believe any crimes have taken place.
There is no evidence at this time to suggest that any criminal actions were involved in the incident.
The search will continue overnight and into Monday, with drones taking the lead while the sun is down. Before dark on Sunday evening, the community came together for a vigil, with those in attendance hoping Dane makes it home safely. Officials continue to ask for any information the public might have as rescue efforts continue.
Detectives and special agents with the FBI have been following up on leads given to us from the community. We continue to ask for any information be sent to us through our tip line, which is 541-265-0669.
All right, turning now to our weather. Not as much sunshine for our Sunday as we saw the past few days, but temperatures were near our average for this time of year as we continue this pretty pleasant start to March. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is along with us tonight. Joe, what's the Monday morning commute looking like?
It's going to be relatively pleasant. Let's just call it that. We're not going to have any major issues on the road, and don't let the first couple days of March fool you. We still could be in for some active weather at times over the next couple of weeks, but again, that's looking beyond over the next 7 days or so. Looking into tomorrow morning, we'll be seeing some pockets of some light showers, and that's going to carry over into the afternoon hours. I'd say by late afternoon between 4 and 5 we'll start to dry out, and again, we're not going to be seeing really any measurable amount of rain, similar to what we saw today. In fact, what we saw today is what we're going to be looking into for Monday. Daytime high tomorrow of 52 degrees. So just a little bit cooler from what we saw earlier this afternoon. But on the satellite and radar, we're not picking up much in terms of precipitation. But the places that have been seeing some precipitation is throughout the Oregon Cascades, where they've seen an inch of snow here in the last 24 hours. I'm forecasting maybe another inch to 2 if you're lucky by the end of tomorrow. Downtown Portland right now, mostly cloudy skies with a temperature of 50 degrees. Again, not much in terms of rain today, and that's going to be the case heading into tomorrow. I'll talk more about what we can expect to see in the first full week of March. That's coming up about 10 minutes from now, John.
All right, Joe, thank you. New tonight, Portland police are investigating a shooting at a bar that left one person hurt. It happened around 11:30 last night at Shamrock Bar and Grill off of Southeast 82nd. Police say the shooting victim was taken to the hospital. Their condition is not known at this time. No word on any arrests. New tonight in Salem, police arrested a man on Friday after he was reportedly seen carrying a gun at a public playground. It happened just before 5 in the evening at Riverfront Park. When approached by officers, the man, 20-year-old Victor Arenas, tried to get away. They were able to detain him and seize the firearm, which Arenas threw under a car. He's now been booked for unlawful possession of a firearm and interfering with a police officer. European leaders are rallying around the Ukrainian president this weekend as Volodymyr Zelensky says he's ready to sign that rare minerals deal with the United States. This just days after a clash in the Oval Office with President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. At the same time, Zelensky has turned his focus toward more than a dozen European leaders. The French president and British Prime Minister announcing today they will now work on a draft Ukraine-Russia peace proposal.
We've agreed that the UK, France and others will work with Ukraine on a plan to stop the fighting. Then we'll discuss that plan with the United States.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. hasn't communicated with Ukraine since Friday. Two White House officials tell NBC News President Trump is considering withholding any future military and financial aid.
That's what Zelensky did, unfortunately, is he found every opportunity to try to Ukraine-splain on every issue.
The British Prime Minister also said he told Trump by phone this weekend about Europe's plans to now take the lead in initiating a deal.
Stand up, speak up, support Ukraine! Stand up, speak up, support Ukraine!
Protests were held across the country, including in Portland and Seattle, as people continue to show their support for Ukraine. This was the scene yesterday along the Seattle waterfront. Supporters gathered with Ukrainians now living in the area, creating a rally of hundreds of Americans, Ukrainians, even some Russians. One Russian-born man who moved here about 8 years ago says he supported Ukraine since the start of the war.
What happened yesterday at the Oval Office is a very, very dangerous and scary sign.
We have a lot of support here, so no matter what administration is saying, we stand for Ukraine till the end.
Yesterday, President Trump warned Ukraine's president that continuing the war without the U.S.'s support would mean a Russian victory.
They convinced him that it was legit. He wasn't supposed to tell anybody, and he was to buy the gold bars.
Last week, the Clark County Sheriff's Office announced they were investigating a sophisticated scam after an elderly woman was swindled out of more than $500,000 in gold coins. However, she may not be the only one. Arceline Stevens spoke with the owner of a local precious metals and coin store who says one of his customers was also almost scammed by someone posing as a sheriff from Washington, D.C.
You can't describe how horrible that is.
A gold scam, a part of a trend of hoaxes taking advantage of victims nationwide, according to the Clark County Sheriff's Office. A woman in her 70s, losing over $500,000 worth of gold coins after she was contacted by someone claiming to be from the Federal Office of Inspector General, who notified her of fraud activity associated with her Social Security number, with the scam lasting several months.
When you're young and you lose your life savings, you still have everything ahead of you. You can make it back. You can't make it back with once you're elder.
CCSO is investigating that scam, but according to Michael Kukulis, owner of Portland Precious Metals and Coins, it may be more widespread than some think. He says it started with a phone call from an elderly customer last week, asking to buy $150,000 worth of gold bars.
He asked, how soon can he have it? Can he just pick it up right away? And he wanted to wire the money, and a little bit of a sense of urgency in his voice.
He says the customer raised the request to $170,000, placing the order Thursday.
We locked him in at a price for 57 1-ounce gold bars, and everything was normal. Friday comes along, and I receive a call from his banker with him on a conference call. And his banker says, we need to cancel that order because this whole thing was a scam.
Kukulis spoke with the customer after, learning what happened.
Initially, they called him, said his Social Security number was compromised. Some people were opening up different accounts with his Social Security number, trying to launder drug money, stuff like that. I asked, why didn't you tell me? And he said, well, they told him not to tell anybody, and they made some threats.
He says the customer told him the scammers even had him talk to someone claiming to be a sheriff from Washington, D.C. Kukula says when he heard about the Clark County victim, he started to form a connection.
The details were identical. The social security number, the fake bank accounts. That's horrible. I mean, it's evil. I mean, you're taking people's life savings.
The Clark County Sheriff's Office says if you receive a suspicious call, contact the agency you think you're dealing with directly to verify the situation. And remember, a government agency will never ask you for payment in gold, gift cards, or cryptocurrency. Well, before we head to break, a warning from first responders in Cowlitz County after they helped two fishermen who were stranded on an island and surrounded by rising water. The Sweet Home Fire District said the two were not in immediate danger, but they also couldn't make it back to shore. They were brought back to shore by boat unhurt. The fire district said water levels can rise rapidly with almost no warning when the Green Peter Dam spill gates are closed.